to see it in good time, as alerted by my learned friend, Ms. Joaquim Bosche. She was trying to file something. When she saw those applications, she called me. I was still reading, and we managed to file our responses to those applications. So we will abide by the directions given by the court, because we had filed all our responses on behalf of the Commission as directed by the commissioners. Thank you, and have a good afternoon.
Melody, if I may. My name is Kibe Mongai. I appear in petition number 8. I rise in order to speak to two things. Number one is that my learned colleague, Mr. Ngatia, has spoken about a petitioner's further affidavit that he claims was filed and served late. Melody and my lords, this further affidavit was sworn on 28th and served on them before midnight of that day, the Sunday that we were entitled to do our rejoinder. They were served, all of them. But more importantly, the affidavits of the IEBC and Mr. Wafula Chebukati were served on us on Sunday at noon. So that there was a questions of the time when our 24 hours was going to run. But despite all that, we filed the affidavit on time and served, but we could not be able to file because there was a problem, and we were told, and the following day when we presented document and we explained, they were admitted, so that he's only referring to the issue of the physical copy. And the original trigger was by IEBC. But we decided not to break bones, and we've not said IEBC served us with anything late. It came on Sunday, and we responded. And therefore, as far as we are concerned, the only issue that we did yesterday, and we filed, but it requires just to be submitted to the court, are our submissions. But they were still done within the 24 hours, but the system was down. We were told as soon as it is there, file it, and then present. So that as far as we are concerned, all our documents are in place and filed on time. Having finished with that issue of petition 008, it is my hope that no directions may have been given without me getting to know of that issue. But the court will note that there has been correspondence between my office and at least with the registrar with regard to petition number 22, E025, between Kenneth Jage Jiro and 10 others versus Honorable William Samoei and Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. May the court note that that petition that was filed on the 5th of August this year relates to the issues of the validity of the nominations of Honorable William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes, with utmost humility, Mr. Kibe, we are dealing with Article 140, matters that arose from the dispute on whether the president-elect was validly elected. Those matters were filed before the elections and before the declaration. So you wait for the ruling, it will be delivered.
It will be delivered.
It's a separate matter from what we are dealing with. So let's not go there.
It's okay, my lady. I'll go by that. Thank you.
We want to bring this to an end on the three issues that have been addressed to the court.
With your kind permission.
That is the time allocation, the presentation of the two factions of the IEBC, and the documents that have been filed in court with or without leave of the court. The court would wish to adjourn to consider those matters and resume at 3:30. I will also kindly ask the parties to furnish the registrar with those documents, because documents have come, so many documents have come, so that we can be able to look at them and deliver our further directions at 3:30.
I'm not obliged, my lady.
Because we are just going around the three issues. the three issues of the time allocation, of the documents filed, which were found late, which were found without leave, allow us to go and consider that, and the issue of representation.
Yes, Malodi. Just one item, Malodi, which...
You can't be addressing the court, two of you.
Yes. My lady, with your kind permission, my name is Kamau Karori, Senior Counsel. My lady, I just needed to comment on just two issues. The first is the allegation that the application that was filed to strike out the name of ISA and company advocates from the record, that it was not, the physical applications were not presented. The correct position, my lady, is that they were presented, but we were informed by the registry that in view of the fact that the court was sitting today, that the appropriate thing to do would be to come and seek leave of the court before the documents are received at the registry. So it is not true that we did not serve those documents. Secondly, my lady, regarding the documents, there's also an important point, my lady, to point out, which is that the affidavit filed by John Githongo, he had filed a response first, then he filed a further affidavit out of time, and in that further affidavit, he introduced completely new documents. In fact, as you will notice when you retire to write your ruling, he now withdrew the initial logs that he had attached to his affidavit and filed completely new ones after we had responded to his previous affidavit. The only option available to us, having been served with these new documents, was now to respond to them. You'll also notice, my lady, that the documents filed by Arnold Oginga, again, they are completely new documents from the ones that had been filed earlier. The prejudice is, on the basis of the document that had been served upon us, we had already responded and filed submissions because our time for filing submissions was very limited. Now we have a situation where new documents have been filed. We have no opportunity of responding to them in submissions because our submissions have already been filed. The only option was for us to file an additional affidavit explaining or answering these new documents and assertions that had now been made. And that is why the documents that were filed out of time on account of the system issues that my learned friend has alluded to.
Thank
you, Madam.
Thank you.
With your permission, Your Ladyship, my lords, mine are separate and different issues. The first one relates to the orders you made for scrutiny this afternoon.
Please, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Katwa Kigan, for the first petitioner, together led by by my senior, Mr. Ngatia. It relates to
respondent, you mean?
Yes, first respondent. I apologize for that. It relates to the issue of scrutiny that is supposed to start this afternoon. We would like to request that the court takes on board consideration of the issues of security, considering what happened at the National Tally Center, my lords and your lordships. And we would also like that the issue of the location where it is to be done be addressed. And we would prefer, considering the security issues also, that camera surveillance be addressed, my lords and my ladies. The second issue, my lords and my ladies, is you granted permission to the Attorney General to introduce two affidavits, and we would, the two affidavits introduce very substantial facts that go to the touch very seriously on our case, and we would like and pray for leave to respond to those affidavits, considering that you've allowed them in. Thank you, my ladies and my lords.
My lady, the Chief Justice and judges of the court, my name is Charles Kanjama for the ICT professionals who've been admitted as amici. I have also two requests to make to the court. One is that in respect of the scrutiny that will be taking place, that the amici whose assistance to the court is to give independent observation of the election technology be allowed to participate and also be allowed thereafter to prepare and present their own independent report so that they can effectively assist the court. Second, in relation to the technology affidavits that have been filed late in the last 2 days, the Amici, in their initial report, had responded to the initial technology affidavit so that they could give an independent perspective from ICT professionals. Would request that they also be granted leave so that they can supplement that report by also responding to the subsequent technology affidavits which this court is considering whether to admit. That is all.
My Lady Chief Justice, my name is Mituga. For the petitioner, in petition 004, I also have a problem of experience by the rest in filing documents when there was a system downturn. Our rejoinder was supposed to be filed on 28th, but due to system problems, although we filed our set of documents serving as a rejoinder, we presented them to court yesterday. When they were stamped as filed out of time, in considering the rest of the document filed out of time, we asked the court also to consider the fourth respondent's document, supplementary submissions, the supplementary affidavit, and list and bundle of documents dated and filed on 28th of August 2022.
Lordship, why, in view of all these counter arguments, the petitioners, respondents, filing late, claiming, Your Lordship, if the court could just give us 1 hour to regularize so that no party then excludes anything from the record, that would serve the interest of justice. And I submit, Your Lordship, that then no party will feel that they've been locked out. So we don't go back to Raila 2013, where huge documents are locked out, and we will find fairness in this court.
Thank you. You know, our time is not elastic. There was an order for scrutiny from 2 p.m. So we really have to adjourn now.
Clarity on the role of the Amici. It would appear that they want to go beyond their role.
Senior counsel, we will deal with that. We are capable of dealing with it. We already gave directions that we will rely on the Amici brief that is already on record. Rulings have been issued to that effect. Yes. So with your kind permission, the court will adjourn, and we will reconvene at 4 p.m. because of the many issues that have been raised.